Hello everybody, just a quick update from MAG on July the 7th, 2024. Our PRO, Angela Ward, unfortunately has a really bad dose at the moment, so she's out of action. So Angela, we hope you feel a lot better very soon. So in the meantime, people, you've got me this evening. So I'm just going to touch briefly on some key issues that MAG is working on. The first being we've been chasing hard on information with regard to the operation of the appeals panel, and it really is to the shame of government that we are now going into the second year of the revised scheme and the appeals board is not operational. There have been excessive delays. The communication has been absolutely absent with regard to communicating to appellants. They just feel like they're putting their information into a black hole. It's completely unacceptable and absolutely the height of disrespect, quite honestly. Also, what we've managed to find out through information gleaned from an FOI request is that the members of the panel. So the chair is a Dr. Derek Sinnott, who is a senior lecturer at the South East Technological University. The full panel members are detailed in an email that we're sending out to all MAG members, and we'll try and get all that information online and published online as soon as we can. We understand that the panel members are mainly from an engineering and legal background. As at the end of June, there were 50 appeals awaiting review, but there is no date when that review process will actually start. Another question that we've been asked about is whether, does the clock stop with regard to the number of weeks that homeowners are given to actually start remediation works, and we understand that is the case. So if you are in appeal, then the time taken to do that should not eat into the time that you have to actually affect your remediation. And what has also come to light is that recently there has been a meeting called at the behest of the appeals panel. It was organised by the Department of Housing, but effectively it was done in a very haphazard way. To the homeowner reps were not invited. In fact, our homeowner liaison, John O'Connor, was only told about the meeting at the last minute, so he couldn't even attend the full meeting due to prior commitments. The people who did attend were obviously board members, the appeals board members. There was reps there from the Department of Housing, the Housing Agency, Donegal County Council, and also Clare County Council. But obviously, the homeowners not being able to underline their own position, give their perspective, is not an equitable way of treating all those parties who are involved in the DCB scheme. So as a result, MAG have approached Dr. Derek Sinnott via John O'Connor to actually request that we are able to present directly to the appeals panel to put forward the perspective of the homeowners, and so they understand the critical nature also of processes like the IS 465 review, which obviously should impact, if we're talking about good decision making, you have to look at that, even though we know the department does not want any new information to be taken into account. So we'll keep on pushing on that. Related to that is also information that we're trying to get from the Housing Agency with regard to what is their current testing and analysis protocol. So what exactly are they doing to assess homes in Donegal, whether they be existing applications or whether they be new applications? Because obviously we know the overwhelming evidence now is that the issue we're dealing with in terms of the degradation of our homes is internal sulfate attack as a result of unregulated quantities of iron sulfide, such as pyrrhotite, being oxidized from the aggregate. That was evidenced by 7 papers at the Canadian conference recently. And by the way, we're making sure that all the Housing Agency, all the consulting engineers, the T63 committee, and anybody else pertinent to this process will have copies of all those 7 papers that relate specifically to the Irish situation. And just going back to the analysis, on page 6 of the ministerial guidelines, it states the Housing Agency will, in their analysis and deliberations, take into consideration the presence of pyrrhotite. So if the Housing Agency are doing their jobs, and those consulting engineers that they have contracted in to provide that information, they should be taking that into account in their deliberations. So to gain an insight in terms of what's actually happening, MAG has met with a group of homeowners who are all going into the appeals process. They feel very unhappy with the remediation decisions that they've been given, and rightly so. So what we're doing, we've spent time with them, we've met with them, they've furnished us with really good information. It's been really interesting talking to them as well. And now what we're doing is undertaking an exercise where we are pulling together lots and lots of assessment reports so we can see exactly what actual data has been used to make those decisions. So we'll continue with that, and we'll bring you any updates pertinent as we analyse that information. The next thing I just want to touch on briefly is the SEAI energy grants. There's been a lot of publicity about that in current weeks, but there's still no sort of comprehensive document, so to speak, that sort of explains the ABC of how the scheme works. The most up-to-date information is on their website, so that's the best I can do at the moment. Or obviously we know that some really good energy advisors operating in Donegal at the moment, and they've been able to furnish homeowners with good information. I believe on that Claire Irwin will be on Highland Radio at some point this week, so as soon as we find out what day she's on, you know, that we'll give you the heads up on that, because obviously she probably would understand and have as much information as anybody with regard to understanding exactly how this scheme works for DCP homeowners. And the final element is really tomorrow on the 8th of July. It's the first meeting of the Defective Concrete Blocks DCC committee to take place since the local elections. So homeowners reps are not invited to that one. It is a meeting purely for either members of Donegal County Council or the elected councillors. And at that, a new chair, vice chair will be established, and hopefully the structure of the meeting going forward. Now, on that, we've also advocated very strongly that for all these meetings, there should be an online link so that homeowners can obviously see what's going on. They can follow the discussions, and that would still be our position. I don't know whether there's going to be a link tomorrow, but that's something we will continue to advocate for very strongly. So that's an update on some key issues that Maggie's working on at the moment. We'll keep on pushing and chasing and advocating and lobbying. So in the meantime, take care everybody, and we'll bring you new updates as we have them. Bye.